So guys, it's summer of 2022 and I just received news that one of my close family members ended up passing away. And at that period of time, obviously for trading and to be successful in trading, you have to be emotionally neutral. You have to be clear with your emotions. And to hear news like that, it was obviously extremely difficult and it takes a lot of time to process that. So at that point, I decided to take a break. And during that period, I learned a lot, and hopefully I can pass some of this vital information on to you guys and it can benefit you. So obviously everyone's different when they go through difficult emotional phases in their life, and for me, that I realized during that period that I was falling more into the self-sabotage mode. So I wouldn't get up when I said I was going to get up. I just was self-sabotaging in areas that weren't beneficial. I wasn't looking at making myself proud. I was looking at making myself happy, because obviously you're grieving a loss. So you would do the short-term gratification things like going out drinking, and you know eating quick food or whatever that may be, or you were seeking quick gratification to fill that void. And I felt that if I'm going to do that in trading, you're just going to lose, no matter how much knowledge you have and no matter how much experience or even previous results. Before that happened, I was actually doing quite well. Obviously, I've always been slightly inconsistent. I'd have good months, bad months. I have 2 or 3 good months, and then I have a negative month. So the consistency is something I'm still striving for. But during that period, I knew that all the work that I put in, if even though things were going well, I'm still going to struggle because of the self-sabotage part. So you have to firstly identify the reason for stopping. Is it something that you're just going through a losing period and you can't be bothered anymore, or is it something emotionally triggering which isn't going to be beneficial, isn't going to aid you in becoming successful? And for me, I realized it was something external. It wasn't that I was blown another account and that I'd want to quit now, or it wasn't that I've took 4 losses in a row and I want to stop. That was never the case. If that's the case, then sometimes you might need to think if trading's for you, because you have to keep improving and learning, and there's nothing wrong with having a bit of a break, reflecting. And that's what I did during my time off. I would backtest my strategy, so I tried to be as non-emotional as possible, because when I come back to the charts, I knew that I would have to perform and execute the strategy. So I tried to do as much backtesting as possible. I'd reflect and just let time heal and come back refreshed and ready to keep improving. But I knew it wouldn't aid me. If I was trading at that point, it wouldn't aid me to be successful. So having a break in that sense massively helped. It also allowed me time to not focus and think about trading, because even if you're not in a trade, when you're in a trade, you're going to be thinking about, has it hit take profit? Even if you've moved to break even, is it going to be a break even? Is it going to be a winner? Your mind's constantly consumed with trading. Even if you're not in a trade and you're looking at your analysis and you're constantly checking your phone, checking where is it? Is it hit my entry order yet? Is it an area of value where I want to be selling or buying? So to have that break completely, and I've been trading a couple of years before that as well, so it was nice in some ways to just have that complete break from it, not have to think about risking money to make money, not having to think about where the markets are, what position, are they trending, are they down, are we looking for this? You could be completely out from it. And now it consumes me a lot. Like, I focus on it. I'm 100% driven. Obviously, I'm documenting my funded journey, which you guys seem to be liking. So that's massively helped, and I enjoy having that purpose and focus now. But at the time when you're emotional and you're dealing with something, sometimes it's nice just to have a complete break, and there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't say take a break unless you're, if you take a blown in account and you want a couple of days off or a week off, that's different. But to permanently stop for a month, 2 months because you've blown an account, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'd look at reflecting, learning, and moving forward. And that's what I did during the time that I was off and had the break. And it did slow down momentum, because you get into a habits and routine each day. You get up at a certain time, you do that. But when you see yourself slipping and it's not aiding you, your mind isn't aiding you because you're emotional about a loss or about something that's happened, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with having a break. If you're going to self-sabotage, you're going to self-sabotage in your trading. You're going to end up taking trades that aren't there. You're going to end up executing positions because you want to feel like you're progressing, and you're not going to sit and be disciplined and be patient and wait for your plan to give you an entry because you're not in the correct frame of mind. So as I mentioned, there are times where you should be taking breaks, like I said, emotional events or external things that occur in your life where it's not going to aid you and you're going to be struggling with your mind, and your mind is 90% of trading. So if that's going to affect your decision making, it's best to take a break. But I would say, other than that, I've never really took a prolonged break. You've had holidays where you go away for a week, but I'm always keeping in tune with the charts. I'm always back testing to make sure everything's okay. I'm always looking at missed positions or trades that I didn't see during that break. And I would say it's not good to constantly take breaks, because you lose momentum, and momentum, once you've got it, is so important. I found in my life, I mean, I never really believed in all this stuff years ago, but when you tick off, I did my watch list today, I went to the gym today, I did this, I executed my plan, I took a trade, it lost, and I reflect on it. I took a trade and it won, and I reflect on it. When you start doing the things you know you should be doing, and you start making yourself proud and you feel good, this ball, like, I don't know how to describe it, but this momentum comes in your life where things just become easy. Getting up at the same time becomes easy. Taking the trades becomes easy. Executing your plan becomes easy. But as soon as I have a hiccup or a break, that's where I feel, and it might be a psychological thing, but if it's psychological and it exists, then it exists in my reality. But you end up slowing, and as soon as you break that momentum, it make the easiest tasks, like getting up and executing your plan and being disciplined and going to the gym, all those things become so much harder. So at the minute, I'm flowing with momentum, I'm sticking, I'm doing everything, I'm focused, I'm driven. But if you have a break, and a prolonged break for so long, you will inevitably lose momentum. You might not lose the skill, and again, like I said, it's important if you're struggling emotionally. But if you just took a few losses and you want to take a break because you don't like trading anymore and you're struggling, then I would advise not. I mean, you need to keep reflecting, ride that wave of momentum, even if it's negative, ride that wave, so then you can reflect and get out of that. Because if you're taking a break after a couple of losses, if you're executing your back-tested plan that has an edge rigorously and effectively, every time you have a loss, you're one trade closer to that next winner if you're executing your plan perfectly. I mean, if you're taking rogue trades, that doesn't matter. But that logic of, if you're executing your back-tested plan and you know they're perfect trades, and you take 3 losses in a row and then you take a break, the problem with that is you're not allowing the edge to play out. And during that break, there could be 2 or 3 winners, 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s, that would have got you out that drawdown. So sometimes you need to execute your plan perfectly, which means in order to allow that edge to fully play out throughout the whole year, you need to be present and executing that. So if you're taking breaks just because you're losing and you've blown an account and you over risk, that's not necessarily the best way to go about it. But like I mentioned, and I stand by this, if you're going through something emotional, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a family problem, or your family death, or something like that, that is going to affect every human being, it's going to affect you psychologically, then 90% of trading is psychological. You know, executing your plan and becoming the edge outside of your strategy, so that you can allow your edge to play out when you do trade. If you're not disciplined outside of trading, it's going to be hard to be disciplined inside of trading. So if you're going to be struggling emotionally about a big bereavement, then it's best to not trade at all. Also, during the break, I also learned, like, at the end of the day, you get so het up about individual trades and individual, like, account, where your account's at, how much percentage you're up or down. But when you have a break from it completely and you stop trading, you do realize that, like, you think everyone else is trading, and you're in this community and you're in this sort of space of just traders, but you sit there and see your friends that are doing completely different jobs, that aren't, you know, maybe not as stressed out about those individual numbers or the individual outcome of a trade. You see from another perspective that, actually, why am I getting so het up about, did that trade win, did that trade lose, where am I in drawdown? Obviously, it's like the job that you do and it's what you focus on. But when you have a break from that, it's quite refreshing to look outward and think, actually, all these things I get stressed out about individual trades or losing streaks or how far I'm away from a certain target, you can sit there and think, actually, there's so much bigger picture, that life's so much bigger picture. And sometimes that can make you come back and be more grateful and come back more focused, because you realise that at the end of the day, a loss. I took a loss on my account. I managed my risk. It was part of my plan. I don't need to be that upset by that. I can learn from it and move forward. And I think that's the perspective you have. But when you're ingrained in it, you think it's the most important thing in the world, and that every individual trade matters and every outcome matters, and you can't control the outcome. So if you're so focused on trying to control the outcome of a position, you're going to get emotional, and that's where you're going to make mistakes. Guys, I hope that was valuable. I hope you guys, if you're in a similar position, maybe you're struggling with something emotionally, it's probably best to take a break and sit back and, you know, take your time before making emotional decisions or decisions that could be affected by your emotions. But if you're struggling and you had a couple of losses, it's probably best just to reflect. Don't quit. Keep the momentum going, reflect and improve. But you'll know yourself whether you're in an emotional state of mind to trade or not. But yeah, I appreciate all the support that you show on the channel. Let's try and get to 5k subs. If you haven't liked, comment and subscribed, it'd mean a lot. We're trying to grow, get these videos out to more people, show a real open, honest journey about someone trying to show everything online, show their journey. And when we get there, it'll be great. So yeah, I appreciate the support and I'll see you in the next video.